Hi, I'm Olivia. I'm the Southern Yankee Stitcher, and this is my Flosstube number 6. I hope you had a great week. I'm a little late posting my video this week because I've been very busy, very busy. For anybody that's new, this is a channel about cross stitch. We might also talk about some home decor and other crafts, but this is mainly about cross stitch. For those of you who have been here before, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm doing this video a couple days late, and later in the day as well, and I have a weird glare coming in this window. It keeps putting a glare on my glasses, so I might end up having to take my glasses off. I already shot this video once with my phone, and for some reason it didn't save. Something about storage, I don't know, it acted like it was recording. The timer was still going, I don't know. So now I'm on my iPad, and I think that's why I have the weird glare, because I'm on the iPad. I don't know. I'm just going to try and get through it. Again, do this all again, and hope I remember to tell you everything that I told you the first time. I have a few little notes here, so I hope that'll help me. This week was busy week. I know I get on here every week and I say it's busy, but y'all, it has just been busy time of year for me. We were short 2 people at work. I work at a school, it's 2 people in the office, so instead of working at my desk, I was working the front desk, and which meant that I couldn't get everything done at my job that I needed to do because I had to work at the front desk, and I can't have a lot of money up there, and the software I work on is not accessible there either. So work was a long week. Stayed a little late some days to get my work caught up. Today, one of the people was back, and I was so glad to see her back today, and she's feeling better, and so I was able to catch up on my things. But in addition to work being busy, life was just busy too. We planned my mother's 90th birthday party for Saturday, and had a little scare earlier in the week. I got a call that they were shutting down visitation due to a staff member that tested positive for COVID. And I said, oh gosh, I planned this birthday party. I called to confirm they still had me listed to have this room reserved there for the party, and that's when they told me they just shut down. And she said, maybe we're testing everyone, and if no one else is positive, we may open back up. I'll know more Thursday at lunchtime. So I called Thursday at lunchtime, and they said it's okay, you can still have your mom's party, visitation's back open. So all was good. I texted my family, and I had one sister that was flying from Maryland, so she went on and flew in on Friday, and another sister and a brother who were driving in. One had probably, 3.5, 4 hour drive. The other had about a 6 hour drive. So they all got in on Friday. We went out to eat, and then we got together Saturday morning and just started going through old pictures until we could go have the party. We were planning to have the party at 3, but as everybody was sitting there, we thought, why don't we just head on over there a little early? So I called and said, is anyone else using the room before us? We'd like to go on and come at 2. And they said, of course, it's a weekend crew, so it's different people than I normally talk to. And they said, we're closed for visiting because of COVID. We were in shock, and I said, we've planned this birthday party. I checked. The secretary told me on Thursday everything was open. Our party was good to go. I said, so people flew in. You have come. All her children are here. Well, it was all but one. And I said, can I talk to her nurse? I talked to her nurse, explained it, and she said, I'm going to call you back. Let me check into this when I call you back. So she got permission from the management for us to still have our party. Thank goodness. I was so, so grateful that they did that. Because 5 of my mother's 6 children were there. One of my sisters in Maryland couldn't come, but she was there via FaceTime. And I've mentioned before my mother has dementia, but she had a really good day that day. And we were there from about 2 o'clock till 5 or 5:30. She started getting tired about that time, so it was a good, time to end the party. And she had a really good time, and we went through old pictures and talked about things, and she got to see everybody together, and it was so good. It just felt like such a blessing to be able to celebrate my mother's 90th birthday. I mean, that's a big deal. She technically doesn't turn 90 until the 15th, but we planned it a little early because that's when everybody could get here, and we wanted all the family to be there to celebrate. So I'll probably still take her. She loves her sweets. She loves sweets. What do you get a 90-year-old? They don't need anything. So we got her a bunch of candy. She's not diabetic. They want her to keep her weight up, so they actually give her extra sweets where she lives. And so we took her candy and some sweets, and I'll take her more. Visitation's closed. Hopefully I can take her more on the 15th. They'll be open back up by then. So family stayed in town Saturday night, and my brother and one of my sisters headed back early Sunday morning. I didn't see him on Sunday. Another one of my sisters who was staying with me, she stayed until about mid-afternoon Sunday, and then she had to head to the airport and fly on back to Maryland. So it was a nice visit with everybody. We hadn't all been together since, I guess, Thanksgiving 2019, because after that COVID hit, and we normally just don't, it's hard to get everyone together anyway, because we're just spread out. But we had a really good time. I didn't get a video done over the weekend because I had all that going on. And then I was tired. I was tired. We didn't do anything that was real strenuous or anything, but when you're out of your routine and you have company, and you just get tired. It just tires you out. Monday I had the day off, of course, because of Labor Day, and I planned a little, we'll call it a little pool party with my two daughters, and they came over, and one of my daughters came over, the other one lives here, and we swam. It had been cooler last week, and the nights had gotten pretty cool too, and the water was freezing. It was so cold. But I was bound and determined to get some time in the pool. We hadn't been in a few weeks, and my husband does such a good job keeping the pool going and clean and everything, and I hate for it not to be used. And so anyway, we were in there, and it was pretty chilly. I think all of us got a little bit of sunburn because I think you might see my nose kind of red. I tried to powder it a little bit so it wouldn't look so bad. But we all got a little sun because it was overcast yesterday and so cool. You just didn't, you don't think about still getting sunburn. Anyway, on with my stitching. I didn't get as much. I never get as much stitching done as I want to. But I did have a start and a finish, all in a piece I can't show you. It's part of a gift. Ooh, it's thundering pretty loud right now. It was in the distance. It sounds like it's getting closer. We might have a big storm here. Y'all might hear. But I'm going to get through this video, since the other one that I recorded disappeared into the abyss, to the cloud. So a lot of my stitching, a couple of nights worth of stitching, was on a gift that I can't show on here. I don't know that anybody in my family watches this. I know one of my daughters said she had on her to-watch list, but I don't want to risk spoiling a Christmas surprise. So I'm not going to show what I've been working on. But I have continued on some other whips. This Christmas is Coming, I worked on it. Christmas is Coming by Shakespeare's Peddler, right here. Now I worked on this week. I think last week I had got all these letters done. Maybe I had gotten part of the box done. I didn't go back and look at my video to figure out where I was. But I did finish the tree and like the earth line here. All this needs to be filled in white below the line. I did all of this, the house and the fence and the horse. I messed up a little bit here. This white snow, these are the stitches that were actually supposed to be right here below the horse. But it does have white stitching here, the snow. It's just patterned a little different. I thought nobody's going to know. Unless they get a pattern out and really are looking at it. I mean, it was so close that I made a mistake. I just didn't feel like it maybe only would have been 6 or 8 stitches I actually had to frog out. But I just thought, it's not worth it. I'm not going to do that. This is stitched on a 36 count vintage Mocha linen. I'm using the called for colors. Some of them are Weeks and some of them are DMC. Alright. Let's see here. My next whip is George Decorates for Martha by Plum Street Samplers. This is so cute. I love history. I love fall. So this is just like all of that right in, all into one. I didn't get nearly as much stitching on this done because of other stitching I did, but I got some done here. I did some more fill-in of the light color. I think it's 644, DMC 644. It blends in so much you can't even see it on camera. But I got a lot of that filled in, and I started on the tree. That tree is this tree right here. This I had done last week, I'm sure. I just worked on that tree. So I will be working on that some more, and I'll probably give that a good bit of attention this week. I do want to get a lot of my Christmas gift stitching done, because of course I'll have finishing that goes with it, and I don't want to be last minute stitching and finishing. I want to get those done, even if these pieces that I'm working on don't get finished before fall or Christmas. It's okay. I'm not going to stress over it. I want to just get those gift things done first, and they're quick stitches. Like I said, one of them, it took me, I think, 2 nights to stitch the whole thing. So they're not going to take me a whole lot of time. Let's see. Oh, I didn't tell you this was on this piece here. This is on 32 count vintage Sahara Belfast linen. It's really pretty. I like that, and I think everything, if I get a lighter white for the other whites in the chart, everything's going to really pop on that. Other than the gift finish, I have no finishes or FFOs to show you. But I have some haul or stash, whatever you like to call it. I did some shopping. I have some things to show you. There are several designers that since I started stitching again back in 2019, I've been watching Flosstube, and I've loved Blackbird designs. There's so many of those I really like. And the other designer is Prairie Schooler. Now I have one Blackbird piece that that storm's coming in. I have one Blackbird piece that I stitched, and I showed you all that, and that's the only Blackbird pattern I have. And I decided, well, one of the next things I want to buy is a Prairie Schooler pattern. So I went to 123 Stitch because they have such a big selection of charts. And I know I could go there and figure out what I wanted to order, even if I didn't order from them. That was a good place, but it's really convenient to order for them. I've always gotten things really fast, and I have no complaints there. And I ultimately decided just to order everything from 123 Stitch. It was convenient. I could order it all from one place, one transaction, be done. That's what I did. So the first chart I got, this chart is from 2005. So it's, what, 16 years old. I didn't know this existed. It's Santa's 12 Days of Christmas. I've been wanting to do a 12 Days of Christmas piece. And I wasn't sure. The only one that I really, really liked is the Hello by Liz Matthews, her 12 Days of Christmas. Well, she hasn't released all 12 days yet, but the ones she has in the tree shape, I love those. And I thought, how could I display 12 trees? If they were inverted the other way, I could put them on a string, like like a banner with the triangles hanging on it. What do you call that? Pendant? Anyway. But, I'm not going to rework her pattern. It looks good the way it is. But I knew when I started to stitch a couple of the days, I would want to do them all. Just do them all and get them done. Otherwise, I'm afraid I never would do them, and then I'd never display them because I didn't want to display just one day of Christmas, So when I saw this one, I was like, well, this is it. And so here are the first 4 days. I'm not sure I'm going to finish this. If you see, this one's like on a framed shelf, kind of. I love the patterns though. The next days 5 through 8, they just show them in a really pretty wooden frame. And the last days 9 through 12, I like that little house they're on. So I don't know how I'll finish these. I thought I could maybe still stitch them in this square shape or rectangle shape and put them on a string and hang, days 1 through, hang them in 3 sets like this, 4, 4, and 4 on my hutch. That might be too busy on there. Maybe I just make them into ornaments. I don't know. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do them. I know how I'm going to stitch them, so I'm just going to get them stitched up, and it'll come to me. If nothing else, there'll be ornaments on my tree. Probably the first Prairie Schooler I saw when I went on the website was this one called Button Up. I really, really like this button-up chart. Somebody did this on Flosstube. I want to say it was Pam on Just Keep Stitching, but I'm not really sure if that's who it was. It's been a while since I've seen it. And it may have been when I was going back and watching all their old stuff. I don't know when it was stitched. But, we don't have these snowy days in South Carolina, but I sure had them when I was a kid in Maryland. And it was always fun. Of course, we did the snow angels all the time. We went sledding. Sledding there, I guess. We went ice skating on a neighbor's pond. We had a neighbor, it was an older gentleman. And if it had been cold, cold enough for a long enough period of time, probably a week or 2 or more, I don't remember how long it had to be cold, we would call and see if his pond was frozen. And if we could come skate, and he would tell us yes or no, and we could go skate. And it was just one house between his and ours. I mean, it was kind of in the country, but it wasn't far at all from his house. We would just go down my cousin lived in between, so that was convenient. We just walked down the path through their yard and onto his house. One time we were skating, and I know it was me and my younger sister, and I can't remember if my niece was with me. My niece was only a couple months younger than me, or if it was my older sister. But I remember we were just talking about that this weekend, that I know I had, white lace-up skates, and the skates went through a lot of the sisters. There's 5 girls and 1 boy in my family. So it was hand-me-downs, of course, the skates. And I had skates that fit, or semi-fit, fit well enough I could go skating, and my little sister had these skates that you buckle onto your shoes, and it had 2 blades on the bottom, so you didn't have to balance as much. And we went skating at the neighbor's pond. And while we were skating, a big area where we were skating cracked, and all the ice went thump like this. It all dropped a little bit. Not enough where water was coming in or anything, but enough where we knew we had to get out of there. And that was a very memorable skating experience because it scared us half to death. We just knew we were going to die. I looked at this, and I never went skiing, but we had ski poles that we would use if we had to walk in the ice. We had a neighbor. We lived in the mountains, and we were near the top of the mountain, but this neighbor was at the very tip top of the mountain, and if there weren't any trees, she could probably look down at our house somewhat. Their driveway was steeper than any driveway I have ever seen. And when she would go out of town, she would always get me or my sisters to feed her animals. And she was very much an animal lover. And we had to put peanuts on a certain railing on the deck every day. We had to put carrots on a certain rock in the woods every day. I think we put out some corn for the deer, maybe. I know we had to cook this liver stuff for her dog, and fed her cat, and I think that was the only animals we fed. But if it was wintertime, we need to use our ski poles, because you were not going to get up that driveway if it was icy or snowy without ski poles. It just wasn't going to happen. It was so steep. And as a matter of fact, the people that moved in after her strung heavy rope between the trees to kind of make a railing going up, because if it was bad weather, you couldn't get your car up. And if you knew bad weather was coming, you better park in the bottom and walk up, because if you went down the ice, you were going to just go into trees. It was so steep, you couldn't control your car. It wouldn't happen. So they would use that rope as a railing to pull themselves up to get up if there was any kind of snow or ice on the driveway. It was crazy. But that's what we used that was the main thing we used our ski poles for, was to get up their driveway. That's good memories there. I'm one of the few people that have moved south and missed the snow. Like, none of my family that moved south misses the snow. My mother certainly didn't miss the snow. But I really miss it. Maybe because I don't know, because I moved away when I was pretty young. I didn't have to do too much shoveling or something. I don't know, but I do miss the snow a lot. These next charts, I don't know what. And I want to say, this is like a flimsy chart, and these are heavy cardstock, and they're dated 2005. This one doesn't have a date. They're all from 123 Stitch, so I'm sure they're legit patterns. But I'm assuming that maybe this is from like the original printing, and this is like a reprint. I don't know, but I hope I have legit stuff, because I tried to go to a legit site to get it. Okay, the next chart I got is summer and winter. And these are monthly patterns, and they're just grouped 2 ways. Spring and fall are together, and summer and winter. So June, you have this bird. I don't know what kind of bird that is. That's black with a red and white wing. I don't know. That's June. For July, you have eagle, patriotic eagle. August, you've got a bluebird, a frog, some flowers, butterflies, and a snail, and a bee. I have all those at my house. December, you got Santa. January, deer in a log cabin. And February, doves or lovebirds, whatever you want to call them. And then for spring and fall, March, you got Lion and the lamb, you know, in like a lion, out like a lamb. April, your bunnies. May, the robin. September, squirrel. October, cat and the jack-o'-lantern. And November, a turkey. This cat here, I have a little plaque that I put up as Halloween decor. And my grandson, he was 3 last year, and he would call it the scaredy cat, and he was kind of scared of it. So I can't see a cat with an arched back like that without thinking of him and the scaredy cat. I've been wanting to put something on my office door that was seasonal, or, you know, put up every month. Something I could change out. I have a wreath up there. It's a wreath I made out of, it's like off-white canvas. I cut out a bunch of leaves and glued them on there and put some cotton balls on there. It's cute. I mean, but it's kind of no particular season, so it's good for any time. But I'm tired of seeing the same thing all the time. So I was thinking about putting something up like this on my door. Actually, at first I was thinking about the wordplay, doing the word plays on my office door. Because my office door opens in my office, so I see it all day long. But anybody coming in sees it. Sees it too. And yeah, I just wanted to add a little something. I have a couple things I bought at thrift stores. I thought about putting these in. It's not here with me, but it's a long, narrow, it's maybe 2.5 feet long by maybe 8 or 9 inches wide, and the bottom 2/3 is a chalkboard, and the top section right now has like a puffy 1980s heart in it, in the middle of the square. And so I'm going to pop that out, and I thought I could put stitching in there that I could change out, but I'm not sure I really want a long chalkboard hanging on my door. I also got this one day at the thrift store, and it's a frame. It's got cork all around it. It didn't have a back on it, but if I do put the stitching in, these are going to be right about the same, the right size. It's going to be 3 7/8 by 4 1/4 finished size, which is a little small for this, but I could do a little extra border, and you know, it's got space in here where I could change it out each month pretty easily. I think I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to use that because, you know, I can leave a note on my door in the cork, or somebody can leave a note for me. So it's kind of office-y. And I think they're cute. But y'all, my favorite pattern that I got, I never knew this existed. I've never seen it before. It was released, stated 2011, so it's 10 years old. It's Prairie Schooler Folk Eggs. Have y'all seen this? It is so weird. I was thinking about stitching up some kind of eggs in jewel tones is what I wanted to do, and something a little different for Easter. Now these, I don't know, that I might keep these out year round. I like them so much. But I thought about the jewel tones because I have a stash of neckties. My mother, years ago, I want to say it was probably 30 years ago, I think she got all those neckties together before I was married. I've been married 30 years. She saw something in a magazine or somewhere where you could make a wreath out of neckties. And what you do is you take the, how do I describe this? You have the necktie that comes down, is in a point. Well, you're going to cut off the bottom, maybe, I don't know, 8 inches of the necktie. So you have the point there that's finished, and the unfinished edge at the top. And then you just unstitch the back a little bit. It's real easy to do, because I did it. And then you take those neckties and you wrap them around a wreath form. And let's say, I'm trying to make a do necktie here. Bear with me a minute. This is going to be real rough. you're going to get it wreath form, like a styrofoam wreath form, and you're going to take a necktie, like this. You cut off the bottom, and you take the next one, and you lay it on top. And then you wrap those around the wreath, so it makes a circle, like they're almost pointing to each other and around the circle. The last one goes under the first one, and you just pin them. You don't have to do any sewing. Well, my mother saw it. She thought it was so cute. She got neckties to do it. She may have made a necktie, I don't know. But when she was downsizing, she gave me her stash of neckties. She said, you like to do crafts, so here, you take these neckties. I'm going to tell you how to make a wreath out of them. And we made a wreath at her house. I picked out all the red, white, and blue ones I could find, and we made a wreath. And I used that wreath on my front door for I don't know how many years. It just got so faded by the sun I couldn't use it anymore. But it was really cute. Well, when I saw these, I thought, I still have neckties. And I think that I could use them as the backing fabric in the other reverse side of the eggs. First I thought about making these like 3D eggs. But to do make an egg like that, you need 4 sections that are like wider at the top than they are at the bottom, and then you sew all 4 pieces together and it makes an egg shape. Well, this pattern is not narrower at the top and wider at the bottom. So I'm not going to do that. It would be too much trying to redo the pattern, and I like them the way they are. So they're going to be flat finishes, probably with a hanger on the top in case I want to hang them, but something that's flimsy enough, I can't think of a better word than that, that would tuck up under. So like if these had hangers, they're tucked up under, you don't see them. I could maybe even make it look a little bit like a crazy quilt on the back. I don't know, I just thought that would be cute. Well, so I was thinking about the necktie fabric, and I haven't dug it out to see what kind of necktie fabric I have, if it has the colors here that I need. But it may not work at all, but that's what I'm thinking. That's going to work. Well, since I was covering the front desk all last week, and I couldn't really do my work, I took some magazines to look at. And I have magazines sitting here where times when I normally would look at a magazine, I stitch now. So I haven't been looking at my magazines, and they were still actually in plastic. And I took them to work and opened them, and this is Country Woman June, July issue. I didn't even crack the seal on it and look at it until last week. This is not a great magazine. I think I saw an ad for it pop up on Facebook or something, and it looked really good. It has some cute things in there, but there's not a lot. It's not enough that I need it for a magazine. But I did open it, and it was so weird that these had just come in. I was thinking about the neckties, and look, they have a necktie wreath. Now they made theirs different. They wrapped them around, pointed, had the points coming out. They did the same thing though, cut it off short. The one I did had the points would have all gone this way. Like the arrows would have been pointing all the way around to themselves. This, actually, I kind of like this pattern better. That's a great way if you have, especially a family member that's passed away, a grandfather or father or somebody, to take all their neckties and make them into a wreath. You know, if you just hang it in your house instead of on your front door like I did, it wouldn't get faded. So it would last a long time. It's so easy. It's really, really easy. So anyway, just some food for thought there about the necktie wreath. I wish I'd thought about that with my husband's grandfather's neckties. I don't know what happened to them. He passed, his grandmother passed. He was a pastor, so I know he had a lot of ties. Of course, any businessman who wears a tie every day has a lot of ties too. So